Hello, and welcome to the Jared Hurst podcast. This podcast is about understanding ourselves, others, and the tools that you can use in order to transform your life. This week, we're going to be talking about building resilience through belief. Now, you may have heard the saying, you may not have, but there's a saying that says, you are resilient, or something to that effect. You have made it through 100% of everything that you have experienced. You have made it through 100% of everything that you've experienced. You're still here. If you are listening to the sound of my voice, you are still here, which means that you are resilient. Now, did you make it through that challenge, that difficult time in your life with no problems whatsoever? Did everything go exactly the way that you wanted it to? Maybe not. But the fact that you're still here, you did make it through it. You have always been able to handle everything that has come into your life. And if you're dealing with something right now, this is no different. Is it going to look exactly the way that you want? Is everything going to flow and go easy? No. But you will get through it. And you can find a way to get through it if you look for it. But there's three main steps to coming resilient. And one of those is believing that you are resilient, recognizing that you are resilient. Just the act alone of saying, I know that I'm going to get through this. However it looks, whatever it looks like, maybe my life has to change in some way. Maybe something that I'm not really thrilled about has to happen. But I'm going to live through this. That alone is going to make things so much easier. Anytime I have something really difficult come up in my life, I try and remind myself, I am resilient. When you believe something, it changes the way that you act. It changes the way that you feel. And it changes the way that you think. So if for no other reason than this, believe that you are resilient because it will give you a different result. There's two versions of you. There's the version of you that believes that you are resilient, and there is the version of you that doesn't consciously recognize your resilience. The resilient believing version of you is going to find solutions that the non-resilient believing version of you will not find. Your emotions will be easier to manage and work through when you're feeling like you are resilient. And the way that you think about the problems in front of you will change as you recognize that you are resilient. That was one of those things that I immediately started to add into my life and add into my belief system. One, there's a joy and a growth in every experience. And two, I am resilient and I can get through whatever life brings my way. Those two beliefs have completely altered the way that I deal with my hardest moments, and have brought me so much more joy and helped me handle those hard times so much better. So that's one thing that you can do. That is one belief that can help you change your life, is I am resilient. The next one is belief in something greater. Now, if you're not somebody that believes in something greater, maybe you just skip this. But I would recommend at least considering this. because there's a couple of different perspectives you can take from it. When you believe there is a God, when you believe there is a greater power like the universe, law of attraction, manifesting, whatever it is that you choose to believe in, when you believe that there's something outside of yourself that has an influence on your life, fate, destiny, there's a lot of different things out there, right? There's a lot of different ways to look for something greater than ourselves. But when you have a belief in something greater than yourself, then when those hard times come and you continue to reinforce over and over and over in your mind how that thing is helping you get through this moment, it makes it easier. Because it's not just me versus this hard thing. It's not just me believing that I'm resilient. It is also recognizing that something else is helping me battle this situation. Now, how do you get a belief in something? If you have had an entire life and you feel, I would question your perspective if you do feel this way, but just will bear with me for a moment. If you look at your life and you look over the entire course, and let's say you believe in God, or let's say you believe in the universe, and you look through your entire life and you see absolutely nothing where you ever felt like God or the universe has shown up for you, how much faith and belief do you have? I know when we talk about faith, when we talk about believing in something greater than ourselves, then the idea is I'm supposed to just have trust and belief and faith in this thing with and that's all I should need. All I should need is the idea that there's something greater, and that should be enough so that I have faith and trust in it. But it's not reality. If you had an entire life where literally zero things has ever happened, where you felt like there was something greater than you helping you out, it's really, really hard to have faith and belief in that thing. If you just barely met somebody for the very first time, or you've met them recently, or even a while ago, and you've never had one moment where you felt like you could count on that person, how much faith do you have in that person? You don't. So we act as though, because when we're talking about faith, when we're talking about spirituality, we act as though we're supposed to have complete faith with no evidence to support it. But the reality is that if you look at your life, you can see evidence of God, of spirituality, whatever it is that and that helps to support this idea that this greater power is going to help me now because it's helped me in the past. And if you don't see any evidence of that, I would challenge that you need to shift your focus. You need to shift your perspective, because if you look for it, it's there. The magic of the universe, the magic of God, the magic of whatever, destiny, all those other things. If you look for it, you will find it. Now, some people could argue that the reason you're able to find it is it's because you're looking for it, and that it actually is just a delusion of our mind. Well, so be it. So be it. Let's take that argument for a moment. Let's say for a moment that there is no God, there is no universe, there are no greater powers, there is nothing. And you're just all the people that believe in those things are completely delusional. Well, dang, that is a helpful delusion. Sometimes it pays to be delusional. Because if you believe in something, even if it is false. It still influences your actions. It still influences your beliefs, your emotions, everything else. So I don't believe this. I believe there is something greater than us, something that is looking out for us and helping us. But assuming I am completely nuts, it's okay. Because having a belief that I am resilient, that's one thing that helps strengthen me, that helps with my emotions, with my actions and my thoughts. Having a belief in something greater than me, that's another thing that helps me with my thoughts, my actions, and my emotions. So what we're doing is we're building a foundation to help you be more resilient. And resilience really is just a mindset. It is a way of looking at the world around you. It is a way of looking at situations. Because I've never met anybody. I can safely say this. I try not to deal in definitives, but this one I feel pretty comfortable. I've never met somebody who's resilient that doesn't believe in any way, shape, or form that they can handle whatever's in front of them. It's literally a self-fulfilling prophecy. It literally is not possible. I don't know how you can be resilient and have zero faith in yourself or anything else. You would literally just crumble when anything difficult came your way. You just fall over and be like, well, like, I can't handle this. I'm never going to get through this. So why am I even trying? If there's any part of you that is trying, there is a part of you that believes in success, right? Right? If you are in a completely unaccomplishable situation, natural, just human psychology is you would give up. But we always fight for stuff that we care about. We always fight to survive because there's part of us that believes there's a chance. If not, we go into a freeze response. We shut down, we disconnect. You ever see an animal that gets like in a lion's jaw? It's out there and all of a sudden it just goes limp, even though it's still alive? It's because it doesn't believe that there's any chance of survival at that point. But up until the point that happens, it believes that there's a chance. So it keeps trying. Same thing with us. So you keep adding all these different layers of support in order to build your resilience. You believe that you're resilient. You believe there's something greater than you that is helping you out. And the third thing is you believe in yourself. I had this recently because I realized that I wasn't doing this for myself. I had this trip, went on this trip, and I had some moments where I was struggling. I believed I was resilient. I believe I would survive anything that came my way. I believed that I had something greater than me that was helping me in my process. But it didn't feel like that was adequate. It didn't feel like that was enough to soothe what was going on inside of me. And I realized that there was another step. And that is belief in me. When I start looking back at my life, when you start looking back at your life, you can see all the times that you have overcome difficult things, that you have found solutions to problems. And so if every time something comes, you say, not only do I know that I'm going to survive this, and not only do I know that there's something greater than me helping me through this process, I believe in my abilities. I am the one that was able to attract that romantic partner and every romantic partner that I've really cared about in my past. I am the one that was able to get that job, to get that success, to overcome that difficulty in order to reach that milestone. Every little thing in my life is evidence of my ability to do hard things. Do I always show up for myself in the way that I want to? Do you always show up for yourself in the way that you want to? Of course not. None of us are perfect. We all have moments of self-doubt, of fear, of anxiety. But there is a mountain of evidence showing that you are capable of doing hard things, of finding solutions, overcoming struggles, of rebuilding after things have been broken and torn down. They're all there. You just have to keep reminding yourself. And that's what I've been doing lately. Every time I have those moments of doubt, every time I struggle about believing whether or not I'm able to do something that I want to do or recover from something that's been hard, I remind myself that I've done it before. I am resilient, that I have something greater than me that is helping me in my process, and that I've done it before. I have found ways, and I can do it again. You can too. The evidence is there. Just look for it. You'll find it. I believe in you. I know that you can do it. And until next time, remember that you are not alone.